Welcome back to West Texas View.
Welcome back to the West Texas View. You met Dr. Cannon, who is the Dean of the School of Nursing for the Texas Tech University Health Science Center before the break, and we were talking about the difference in rural health and urban health, and let's go transition right into the need for nurses and all medical practitioners in the rural area versus the urban area.
Well, I think one of the things that's important to really look at are some of the trends that are happening. For instance, I can tell you that by 2020, they're expecting 25,000 physicians, being short 25,000 physicians. We're looking, and that's for the nation. For nursing, we're looking at a shortage of 70,000. I mean, it's huge, and so you say, okay, well,
and
that's
it's growing wider,
and that's the nation, yes. And so you say, okay, so what's happening here in the state? We're actually looking at the number of nurses that are retiring. Let me correct myself. I said to you 70,000. We're going to be short 250,000 nurses in the nation. We're going to be short 70,000 in the state.
Yes, in Texas.
In Texas. And here locally, we're looking, I had the opportunity to work with Dr. Ray Perryman, who's the economist. And he and I were looking at where are we going with all this? What's the impact of nursing? What's the shortage going to be like? The two of us came up with some figures, and they're moving figures. So it can change drastically, but we're looking at between 665 to 891 nurses short. Now, you might say, so what's going on with that? You know, why are we dealing with this? First of all, we can't hire enough faculty. That's one of our big issues. We have to have faculty that we can attract to come to our areas. And in order to expand our programs, we have to have faculty. The other is that we're turning away qualified applicants. We looked at from just a state level, we turned away over 11,000 qualified candidates for nursing school. In the local area, we probably turned away about 200 qualified applicants among all the programs that are here, whether it's Odessa College, Midland College, or Texas Tech, or Howard College, all of the rest of them. So just be aware, we turn away a fair number of qualified applicants.
And that's why you need to get information. If you're interested in nursing, even if you're a junior in high school, you need to start working immediately to find out prerequisites and the different programs and what particularly appeals to you, and get your name in the pipeline.
In the pipeline, because that's what's so important. The nursing shortage is really coming about because we have nurses are getting older. As we all know, we've got an older generation coming up. And as a result, these nurses are going to retire. Well, when the economy pretty well tanked, a lot of nurses stayed in their job because they were the primary wage earner. In our area now, where we've got a booming economy, we have a lot of people who are shifting their focus to move to the oil industry. And as a result, we end up with fewer people coming into the nursing profession. So it's gonna slap us upside the head pretty quick. And maybe the prediction we have by 2020 of that 600 to 800 nurses short, maybe even worse. Maybe even worse. So it's really important that we get people prepared and start early, as you said. When you're in high school, if you have an idea, you're interested in nursing, you need to be working with your local colleges. Find out what kind of prerequisites you need and start working with them.
And start even working on financial aids and all of those kinds of things. But the other thing that I'm acutely aware of, and mainly because of my connection with the Texas Tech University Health Science Center Board, is the changing picture of the health professionals from the health care at the entry level all the way up. the chain, and that is because of technology and what technology has done. So you've got these people in the rural health area out here in the very ruralist areas that you've got. And they're not alone, though, because they've got so many technology resources that bring them right up to the School of Medicine or the School of Nursing if they've got problems when they're taking care of patients.
And telemedicine has been a real boom and very helpful for a lot of rural communities. One of the things that we see in nursing as we prepare nurse practitioners who go back to those communities like Crane and McCamey and Fort Stockton and Andrews, all the different community areas, and they practice there either through the hospitals or with physicians in their clinics to provide that rural health care, so that it makes it at least accessible for people who live there. You know, with the price of gas being what it is today, that's also a huge expense for people in rural areas to try to travel by car or vehicle to get here. So we have to look at how can we take healthcare out there to them so that they have the opportunity
or at least
and access.
The basic health care, so that some diagnosis and basic help can be given until they can get to more specialized
whether they do
help.
referrals, whether they do airlifting, whether, you know, all the different aspects to it.
And one of the areas that I'm really interested in is, because most of my college education profession has been in community colleges, and I know they start with nurses aid classes, LVN classes, and some of our community colleges even have the LVN and the RN. But I want us to talk a little bit more about that. We've got to take a break right now. We'll be back and talk more with Dr. Cannon and the nursing profession, and she's got a really, really important announcement to make in the next segment. We'll see you in just a minute.
Stay tuned. West Texas View will be right back.